horror film. But I need to show that I can handle horror as a genre or whatever else. Or somebody's giving you money. That's fabulous. Ye le, paisa le, short bana de, say, हाँ ठीक है बनाता हूँ. That's also great. But the thing is, a lot of people see this thing of passion is great, but give direction to it. Only passion doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't. You kind of then feel disappointed. You feel jaded because you'll make something nobody will want to watch, and then trying to get people to see. Because ultimately, what do we want? We just want people to see what we are doing here. Or kya chahiye? So my only thing to for everyone is do something with an agenda. Either like you said, part of a feature, part of something you want to do, or just to show, or even for yourself. I want to know, can I direct actors, or can I kind of can I do a longer format? Can I handle that? That also is good enough. But don't just jump into making a short out of that. Then find some kind of an agenda to it. Ultimately, things like festivals and all are made for this. They're made for you to give you a platform to meet producers, meet people. So use that well. Beg, borrow, beg, but get good people. So my point is, don't compromise on that. Then don't say paisa nahi tha, but maine banaya. So that should not be your answer. You should always say that this is done very well. I've made this well, and I've done it like to show my capability or capacity. You've heard all the stories of people who made short films, got picked up, uska feature bana. So work like that.
I have a slightly different experience because I'm not from a film school or any film ecosystem. This was, as I said, an act of desperation. I am basically a lonely writer sitting and writing. I got money, I made something. The only good thing is that I'm a visual writer. So I'm not dialogue based. So therefore, I think my writing style is very cinematic, descriptive, cinematic in nature. Like I think, edit. I don't think paragraphs. So uh, for me, this entire thing has been about being able to put something out there because otherwise nobody will notice me, and I'll just be redundant in. It is an act of desperation, and uh, it just came together. It's a lucky thing for me with the entire team and everything. Uh, there is not much science beyond that because they have a pathway like people from the film school. Milind has made feature films, so he's a name in the industry. Yeah. So this is who I am. The only other thing is that, see, I'm an author. I'm not a director. Okay. If you don't give me money, I'll write and I'll probably write a book someday, or maybe next year if I don't. For me, the story is first most important. What do I want to say? The length of it doesn't matter because that's not how I think. And this has happened to me, yaar. Like I've been fortunate enough to travel everywhere. You know, म्यूजियम में जाके मैं देख रहा हूँ, मैं सोच रहा हूँ ये तो एक फ्रेम है, इसका $50 million वैल्यूएशन है. You know, people from 300 years have been watching this one frame. मेरे पास 24 फ्रेम एक सेकंड में है. You know, तो वो doesn't matter कि वो 24 into how many है, because it's not like if you make a 7-hour film you'll be remembered more. Okay, it is the quality of that 24 minutes and 20 minutes, or what you want to say, what you leave behind the people with. So if I have done a decent job at that, I'm happy. I'm going home and sleeping.
Yeah, for me also, it sort of really depends on, who is also watching the film, your relationship with the people watching the film, what phase of life they're in. I watched, I think, some of the shorts in August, some in September, and my reading totally changed in that 1 month because I was a different person a month ago. And I think because of that, it's like it's always been, my sort of, because part of my job is to try to guess what the filmmaker is thinking or why they made a particular film, why they shot a particular frame. That you tend to sort of project your insecurities onto how you read a film, and I think in shorts that's more amplified than most mediums, because when you're watching a feature, it exists for a certain agenda. It exists for like very wide public sort of viewing most of the time. And with shorts, at least from my experience, I feel like it's always been a more intimate connect. At least for the last 6 or 7 years I've been writing about shorts, and I think that's what, again, that's what stood out for me with this particular thread of shorts. And so thank you for whatever little healing that I went through.
Rahul,
because
can
of
I
the
add
shorts.
something to
Sure,
what you
sure.
just said?
Yeah.
I think, it's the freedom that comes with shorts, because it's not like a big film where 300 crores are invested, stars are there, they'll change the script, this
People
will
are
happen, that
less
will
guarded
happen.
when you're making a short.
People are less
Everyone's more
guarded, so
free.
what happens is you get a purer vision of what
Yeah,
what
that's true.
wants to come out, you know. It's like pressure में नहीं है वो बच्चा आ रहा है, निकल रहा है, खेल रहा है.
That's true. Everyone
Since
has fun in that sense. Yeah.
since two of you are from sort of ad background and given that you do ad work on this, I was just curious as to, is there any sort of undoing involved in the way you maybe shoot a short film or a feature or a show, if you make a show, because there's a certain language of filmmaking in ads. You have to execute in a certain way, you have to do it, there's time, it's a very different sort of filmmaking. Because as someone who's a writer who writes about film, I know there are different switches in my head when I'm writing about a short, when I'm writing about a feature, when I'm writing about a long form. And when I say switches, it doesn't mean one is lesser than the other. It's just a different part of your brain. I was wondering if the same applies to the sort of storytelling you do.
See, actually, it'll sound very strange when I say this, but thing is, ad filmmaking and filmmaking, feature filmmaking, or let's say long form ad making, are absolutely two unconnected things. We use the same equipment maybe and the same things, but advertising has a specific purpose. It comes with a script given to you by a agency with the approval from the client. Some of it is come from research. There's a classic agenda to every frame, every shot. What do you need to establish here? The performance. In India, India is the only country where we hate to represent ourselves in advertising, so everything has to look rich. Middle classes look very good. Everything is, you know, unless once in a while the client says, yes, small town hai, to isko, or something like that happens. And the next year the client says, nahi, nahi, abhi South Bombay. And suddenly say, okay, theek hai. So your casting changes everything. So it's not like you are really casting for the story, but you're casting more representatively. It's generic. And it's you and advertising, you have to, only good thing about advertising which helps you in making feature films is that in advertising you have to shoot with the edit in mind. You can't say I'll explore, you can't shoot and then say, oh, because you're fitting something in 30 seconds. And that's why not many great, even the best of advertising people can't make one decent feature film, and vice versa. So some of the best feature films will not able to make a great ad because of this thing. So they are really disparate. But the only good thing is that it does give you a certain sense of discipline towards certain crafts, your eye for certain details, which helps you. My thing was actually I quit advertising because I want to make feature films. So internally, I found that I really thought, when I say I'm going to direct films, there'll be many scripts. People say, "Ele, kar direct." I say, I'll read. I realize there's no scripts. Nobody's investing in writing. It's basically as a director, you have to develop your own thing. Go. So then luckily I got an offer to direct ads and I said, okay, theek hai. But when I was making ads, I was consciously trying to train myself for the feature I wanted to make. So I would use certain disciplines, certain things. I would say, okay, look, mere ko ye banna hai, I love making ads. I love shooting anything here. So that's not a problem. But then you kind of, my goal was long format always. And that is a scarier part. Holding something for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, holding a scene. In ads is 30 seconds, you see, you cut. So, uh, so it's not like if you conquer ad filmmaking, you then you're there. It is actually absolutely different. It's like, I don't know, I can't find the analogy, but it's like football and cricket. Both are sports, but that doesn't make it the same.
So I'll just add to what Milind is saying, and he's got most of it. Ad is like a writing on Twitter. Okay. Ad, yeah. Ad is like writing on
You're
Twitter.
making great analogies, and there was no dialogue in your film.
Yeah. So, yeah. But that's not me, though, that no dialogue bit. And a movie is like a novel or a long format story. The grammar is completely different. Spellings are different. I'll give an example. What he was talking about, 30 second mein cut. When we do ads, 30 second mein, client will say there are 24 shots. Duration क्या हुआ? 1 second 1 shot का. उसमें क्या performance निकलेगा? क्या graph निकलेगा? Okay. So it is like and honestly, most of the times you don't even need a director to direct ads. You just need a head. Honestly, I'm telling you.
Don't say that aloud.
Yeah. Great secret.
Let it stay in this room.
If you get decent enough crew, the ad directs itself. Okay. It needs a great producer, though ads need great producers because budget and client is the most important thing. An agency will direct it for you. Everybody else will direct it for you. Because ultimately they'll approve what they have only said yes to while taking the shot. Ye expression acha nahi hai. Okay. But that's not showcasing your talent, which is why all of us are leading advertising or trying to. See, we can't because films are not paying us. Hopefully that's the bridge we'll cross someday. Someday somebody will come up to us saying, देखो क्या film बनाना है बोल, story है क्या? Like that, you know. But desperation है, सब में है.
Yeah, because there's a thing when, at least because of the amount of features I tend to watch per year, there's a certain phrase that we use, ये ad filmmaking hai. Like when we watch.
But
This looks
feature film, Rahul, is also ad filmmaking has become because advertising planners have gone and
exactly, and it shows because you're advertising emotions.
So they are first thinking, मेरा audience क्या है नहीं है, कर लो भाई, आपको करना आता है तो कर लो.
Yeah,
If you're successful, I will clap. But I don't think that works because ultimately the gatekeepers can't be bigger than the talent.
Yeah, I think since there's nobody else, I think we will wrap the press conference. Feel free to, carry on the conversation outside. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, Rahul. Thanks everybody.
And congratulations
Thank you,
again on
everyone.
the films.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you so much.